Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC here on ESPN Plus. I'm Dan Thomas, joined by Craig Burley and Shaka. Hislop. Later on in the show, bringing you highlights of both the US women and US men who've been in action over the last 24 hours, plus a dramatic day at the top of the table in the Bundesliga. But for Real Madrid, another 3 points, and for the moment it puts them 6 points ahead of Barca, who are taking on Levante tomorrow. Not a game that I think anyone will remember for very long. Wasn't particularly impressive. Atleti better in the first half, but Real Madrid getting it done. Yeah,
I got the job done. Well, they did play better in the second half. Atleti never looked at scoring in the second half, to be fair. And that's the big problem. When they have been playing well, like they did for 45 minutes, they really haven't got a prolific guy to put the ball in the back of the net. OK, some poor decision-making in the final third, maybe. Possible penalty, I get that, but and from open play, you know, Morata, I think 9 in all comps or something like that. It's mediocre. They need somebody that's getting, you know, by this stage of the season, somewhere between 15 and 20 goals, and goals from the middle of the park, and they're not getting that at the moment. And for that reason, they're quite a lot. Without playing badly, certainly not in this game, they're a long way off the top of the league.
Defensively, Real Madrid looking good, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And Atletico Madrid had it better the first 45. Courtois did have to make a couple of saves. And I thought the most impressive thing with this is these changes that Zidane made at halftime or certainly early in the second half. And Cruz and Isco coming off, Lucas Vazquez and the Brazilian, what's his name again?
Not Vinicius Junior.
Vinicius Junior coming on. And they're playing high up. And Atletico Madrid just couldn't find any kind of space, and in the end, it was very comfortable.
Like most other countries, they have VAR.
Yeah.
They refuse to go back and change it. Now there will be some out there that will say, well, if it had been the other way...
Yeah, it's true, it's true.
So they did have
and they'd be right.
Yeah.
They had to shout for a penalty, for sure.
Meanwhile, let's take you through what happened in the Premier League today. Take a look at some of the results. Started the best game, actually, was the early one, wasn't it? Leicester against Chelsea, finishing 2-2. Elsewhere, you had Palace losing out against Sheffield United. They move up to 5th in the table. West Ham, Shaka, in big trouble, aren't they? 3-1 up, 3-3. Bournemouth with the win against Villa to give them a little bit of hope. Everton were 2-0 down, would come back and win 3-2 against Watford. Liverpool win 4-0 against Southampton. And we'll start, shall we, Manchester United against Wolves, 0-0. Manchester United then 6th in the table, level on points with Wolves. That win for Sheffield United moves them up to 5th. 5 points now behind Chelsea. Let's kick off, shall we, what happened at Old Trafford. We could show you the highlights, but there weren't really any.
Well, the highlight was, and actually both teams, neither team played badly, right? It was Wolves away from home, counter-attacking, well-organised team, as we know. And United, you know, low in numbers, low in energy, lacking quality in the final third, because they had lots of possession. But I suppose for United fans, they got a glimpse of Bruno Fernandes, who started the game, needs to get up to speed and integrate properly. Clearly, he's going to be a good player. But for 65% or so possession, United, they just didn't have enough guile in the final third. And Wolves were always a threat going forward, particularly with Raul Jimenez.
Yeah, but you're right. The only talking point here is that Bruno Fernandes starts. But I think the bigger takeaway, certainly from a Manchester United perspective, is that I thought they equipped themselves well. A few weeks ago, you asked who would finish top 4, and I thought Wolves would kind of leapfrog everybody else and get in there. But you look at this performance where I thought...
They drew 0-0, Shaq.
Yeah, but listen, I'm looking for a silver lining here for United. I thought they equipped themselves well against who, before now, I thought was certainly in the top 4 teams in the league. That's about as good as it can get for United, especially when you consider injuries and the suspension to Matic.
Speaking of top 4, obviously...
And I think maybe peeved a little bit about the lack of any action in the transfer window. Which I think is made him smarting a little bit, is that good possession, some nice football, particularly early on, and no end product again. I mean, young Reece James put a couple of wonderful balls in, one in particular to Tammy Abraham, and we think he goes with the wrong leg.
Goes with the wrong leg. Yeah, I mean, it was odd because he goes with the right. I thought maybe he's protecting his bad ankle, but if memory serves me correctly, it was his right that he had hit against Arsenal. So it made no sense for a player that I think very highly of. It was a poor decision from Tammy Abraham. Some of Chelsea's football in the first half I thought was very good, but in the end, you take that point because Leicester really were the better of the two and should have won it.
They're Jekyll and Hyde, aren't they, Chelsea? Because,
Right,
because you know, when they're playing well in games, they look as if they're $1 million. You know, they knock it around, it's into Jorginho, and it's, you know, they get it wide, they get the full-backs forward, they get Mount in good positions, and then when the opposition, whoever it is, and I've seen it at Stamford Bridge this season, whenever the opposition get a foothold in the game, they panic. And they just sort of lose their shape and sort of lose any sort of discipline. That was kind of like that again today. I don't quite understand the reasoning behind the goalkeeper situation. I know we looked at him certainly in the Arsenal game for the second goal, the Bellerin goal.
Discussion Frank Lampard had with Kepa about the situation, about his own performances. It's Kepa in any way. Listen, I don't know what kind of discussion Frank Lampard had with Kepa about the situation, about his own performances. But from the outside looking in, I'm not sure how this makes him better. I'm not sure how this improves him as a goalkeeper, being left out in a game of this magnitude with the spotlight quite clearly on you. Now, that's something that Frank Lampard is going to have to manage, because I don't see how you finish the season with Willy Caballero in goal and still finish top four.
No, you don't, because you know you're risking the top four.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of to try and paint a picture is he's seen things from Kepa out with the playing 90 minutes that he doesn't like.
Right.
Maybe an attitude issue. Maybe he spoke to Kepa about something else and he didn't like the player's reaction. And he's thought, well, OK, I'm going to leave you out. Now, that's just down to management then. That's his decision. But if he is making a decision like this, he has to be mindful that the recent inconsistencies have brought the chasing pack back into
But here's the thing. You have a fragile, well, what may be a fragile dressing room, given some of the inconsistencies you've seen from them over the last month and a half. But now you're complaining about the transfer window where you haven't strengthened the squad and you fire broadside at your goalkeeper. How does that play out in the dressing room between now and the end of the season, when these are the players you're going to have to rely on?
Fired broadside, Shaq. Where did that come from? Let's take a look at the top four odds then, shall we?
He was stuck for words.
Liverpool should be all right.
So if I put 1,000 on Liverpool, I get
give
one.
it
Okay.
Who are you seeing from the chasing pack?
Wolves.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. And possibly, well, obviously Tottenham, but you know, looking at consistency, I'm looking at Wolves as possibly the most consistent unit with team selection, with a goal threat, well organised, under a very good manager. And, you know, Man United, for all the criticism we've given them, are hanging in there.
Yeah.
You cannot rule it out.
Meanwhile, it's so telling. Liverpool win again. And we're not even going to talk about it because we kind of run out of things to say.
Klopp wasn't actually eulogising about his team that much, because I've seen them play better. But I have to use that word again.
Machine.
The concerning thing is Southampton were very good to start with.
Yeah.
Yet still here we are talking about a 4-0 defeat again.
It just seems to have just hit
a
the ground
goal
running.
every 11 minutes or something
I
like
think
that?
so, yeah, before today's game.
Sell him.
It's a downward trend.
He's going to be leading the line for Norway as well in the playoffs, which might affect Scotland as well. So, well, listen, there's lots of things might affect Scotland. That's the least of the worries. But you know, yeah, we saw the game he came off the bench, the last game he came off the bench, when he went round the goalkeeper and finished from that really acute angle, took his time and composed himself. Then we saw the first goal there where the ball's out wide and he senses, he knows if the player makes a yard to whip the cross in, where he has to be. You know, and he sort of bullies his man, or he's more aggressive than his marker. He gets across him, he gets in there and gets his just rewards. He's already, and has lots to learn, don't get me wrong, and there'll be peaks and troughs, but he already has the physicality, because he's a big lad for one so young, but he's got the brains of strikers that I've seen. It's taken years to get that, to understand where to be and when to be there. Sometimes you can't teach that. It's just natural.
I think that's his most impressive quality. The maturity about the runs that he makes, about the positions that he takes up, about his anticipation. As Craig rightly says, normally when you're talking about a 19-year-old, these are things you expect him to add to his game later on.
Here's a game where they've won at a canter. It's done, right? By miles. Here we have not the only talented player, but arguably the most talented player in their squad, and all these big games coming up, and you want to give people a rest, keep them fresh, keep them away from injury. It's not like PSG are losing the game 3-2.
No.
And he wants to stay on the field to do something, to make a difference. It's done and dusted. This is a problem. And this is one of the issues that PSG have, because he's not alone in acting like this. In times like this, I feel sorry for Thomas Tuchel. I really do.
I mean, the challenge here is trying to figure out why Mbappe is angry.
Yeah.
For all the reasons that Craig just pointed out. There's no footballing reason for him to react the way that he does. And if there is no footballing reason, then you don't. It doesn't play out on the sideline. It makes no sense to me.
Let's just take a look then how things stand, shall we, in Ligue 1 after that result.
Golf in there.
Golf.
Everything. What? Everything today.
What's harder, staying in Shaka's power rankings or watching United play?
Oh, goodness me. Watching United play, that's hard work.
Who was it you were shouting today about the power rankings?
Leipzig.
Oh, Leipzig, yeah.
Because they've been sliding.
They're going to be out, surely now.
They'll be out.
Yeah, dropping points against Gladbach. You're the only one in the office shouting about Leipzig. How do you guys like Ney's new haircut?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Wow.
As a man who has experience of colouring his hair.
Well, I just...
Listen, a bit of blood is all right. Well, very
No, Craig's
blood.
that's
That was a lot of blood.
Well, but
pink.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That's a stretch, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, players can do what they want. I mean, clearly you can do what you want, but...
Whatever happened to, I'm just going to settle down and play my football? Whatever happened to that?
Come on, old man, Shaq.
I can't say it's attention.
That's what he said.
When I did my hair blonde.
That's what he said in the summer. I'm just going to keep everything calm. Neymar, play my football.
He's playing for, he's doing fine. What's wrong with dyeing
your hair pink?
That's
To
all
be
right.
honest with you,
Come on.
To be honest with
There's
you,
worse things to get angry about.
PSG fans will...
Throwing coaches.
PSG fans will not give a jot as long as he performs.
Yep, exactly.
In the Champions League, in particular. But pink, it's a bit... Yeah.
Shaka, which of the top 5 leagues have the best goalkeepers at the moment? Goodness.
A lot to think about. I don't know. That's a lot.
I suppose you've got Ter Stegen and Oblak against Alisson and Ederson. That'd be kind of a fair battle.
Yeah.
Are Liverpool the fittest team by far? It seems most teams give Liverpool a tough first half as they expend a lot of energy to try and disrupt Liverpool game plan and rhythm, and by the time we reach the last 15 minutes, they can't keep up, resulting in many late goals.
It's not and I'm sure fitness is a big thing for them, as it is for every club, most clubs anyway. But I think part of the answer is within the question, is that a lot of teams have to work so hard for an hour plus to try and stay in the game or get the ball off Liverpool or defend against Liverpool, that ultimately a lot of the teams have spent more energy by the end of it. Because...
Sorry, Karen.
Oh, you're good.
The thing is, you get your rest when you have the ball. It's easier to get rest when you have the ball, but whenever you win the ball against Liverpool, they're pressing you so hard that it's tough for you to catch your breath.
Did you ever get tired?
I got tired all the time.
Doing what?
Yeah, how did a goalie get tired?
Yeah.
Let me just breathe some of the hardest workers on the pitch.
Did you sweat even?
Yeah, I sweat a lot.
Did you ever have cramp?
No, I never had cramp. Because I was very fit. I was very fit.
Have you ever seen a goalkeeper with cramp?
Yes, I have. And it's not... you shouldn't be getting cramp. I can't remember. I remember seeing it. Thinking...
Goalkeeper with cramp.
I would never get cramp, me. Never.
No,
far too fit.
You usually have to move to get cramp.
If a Gallo is the answer, what is the question?
How do you spell gallon with no N?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was stupid.
What was...
I don't know.
What did you just say, Shaq?
Carry on.
You look very tired today.
Yeah,
What's happened?
It's been a long day.
You've been with Craig the whole day.
Well, he's had a few coffees. I've kept him going.
It's been a long day.
He was already here when I got here, early. So he'd obviously left home very early.
Because you have a 2-hour commute, don't you, Shaq?
Yeah, I do.
That's going to be... Are you commuting home tonight? Be careful.
I am. I'm off tomorrow, so I guess I'm...
Are you going to a Super Bowl party?
Yeah, well, I'm still negotiating that.
So you're going to get out of it.
How are you going to get out of it?
I don't know.
Fall asleep? Come to work?
Throw in an illness. Just, no. Maybe not. Not in the current climate. No, I don't do that.
In honour of Willie Caballero getting the start today, who was the oldest player you ever played with when you were playing in the Premier League, or at least in top competitive league?
Wow.
Was Shaka the old man of his teams?
Teddy Sheringham.
Oh, at
I
Portsmouth,
played with Teddy at West Ham.
Oh, West Ham?
Oldest player?
Yeah, I think he was in his 40s, right? I think Teddy was in his 40s.
Yeah, he was.
At West Ham, yeah. It had to be because I was my early 30s.
How old were you when you retired?
Mid-30s-ish.
How old were you?
Early 30s-ish.
Give me an answer.
Well, you were still playing in 2006.
I played till 2007. I retired in 2007.
And played is a quite loose way of
So
describing it.
2007, he would have been playing till he was 38.
Oh, there you go. That's when you went to
Ish.
FC Dallas.
Don't know the oldest. Might have been Glenn Hoddle when he was player manager at Chelsea, but
Yeah.
he wasn't that old. I mean, he might have been 35. Not like
No, it's not.
Gordon Strachan. I didn't play with Gordon, but he played till he was
Kept going.
40, you know.
My last season at Dallas, I was older than all the coaching staff. It's a little embarrassing.
I'm sure they move quicker than you.
I played against
No,
Peter Reid when
didn't.
Peter Reid was still playing. He was playing for Southampton at the time, and he was still going strong. He must have been 40. Peter.
Wow.
Must have been.
Because you retired early, eh? You were 31?
No, 30, just short of 33, I think, or thereabouts.
That is it. You're both off tomorrow, aren't you? Shaka, you got your party.
Yeah, but we're coming in.
Where you going to a Super Bowl party, Craig?
I
Watching
know,
it
I'm
with-
just going to watch it at home.
Yeah.
Shaq and I are coming in, going to do 8 hours in front of the
watch-
TV.
yeah, watch some
watch a
games.
few sports.
Just going to watch some sports, see what else there is to add to the repertoire.
By the way, what time does the Super Bowl start?
6:30, I believe.
The game starts at 6:30 or the coverage?
The coverage is
Oh, no,
going to be
I-
all day, Shaq.
I thought the actual game would start at doesn't it start at 4 o'clock?
Oh, it's 6:30, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Will I see the end of it?
Well, depends on what time you start.
Depends on what time your Super